Morning, everybody. Welcome to Solo ReacTalk. We are continuing with our Cajun Cutthroat YouTube channel double hitter, requested by Clovis. Clovis first double 6911. The first one was Joan of Arc, savior of the Kingdom of France, and now we are starting with the Louis the Ninth, the Crusader King. Yes. Remember, if you want to check out my previous reaction to Joan of Arc, savior of the Kingdom of France, remember that the card is going to be at the top right here. And if you want to check out the original video for Louis the Ninth, the Crusader King, as well as Cajun Cutthroat YouTube channel, the links are going to be in the description below. Yes, let us start. 3, 2, 1, go. He seemed taller than all his men, higher from his shoulders and upward than any of them. A golden great helm on his head, a sword of Germany in his hand. There never was seen such a beautiful knight. Saint Louis at the Battle of Almanzora. Description by Jean de Joinville. Hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Son of the French King Louis VII the Lion and of Queen Blanche of Castile, Louis IX was born in the castle of Poissy on April 25, 1214. A few weeks before the great victory of the French troops over those of the Holy Roman Empire and England at Boivens, the ninth king of the house of Capet, I think so, yes, Capet, right? Capet Louis XII, okay, he's 12 years old, was sacred at Reims, a few days only after the burial of his father. Okay, so he's still a child. So who's the caretaker? Who's the regent of the kingdom, since Louis IX is still a child? Blanche of Castile, regent, okay, of the kingdom, did it this way to cut short the desire of rebellion of his great vassals. So if you make Louis IX sacred, does that protect him from having any form of, rebellion against him, like someone wanting to overthrow the prince because he's still young of age and he can't ascend to the throne just yet? So that protects him. It prevents anyone from trying to take over the throne or to usurp the throne from him. Okay, guys, I don't know, I'm just waffling here. I have no clue. If you guys have the answer, please send it to me in the comment section so I can better understand what does it mean when a royal heir to the throne has become sacred, and how does that protect you or protect the child from the machinations of court and intrigue within the nobility or the great vassals of France. Exactly, I'm not entirely sure, but okay. Blanche was for Louis a tender and thoughtful mother. She cared to give him good education and installed the principles of a pious faith into him. All his life, the king would spend several hours praying every day. Wow! I would fall asleep. I would fall asleep. Several hours of praying. Yikes. Considered adult in 1234, Louis married Margaret of Provence. I hope that's how you pronounce that word. Blanche firstly found her far too beautiful. What does that mean? So what if she's beautiful? I don't understand. Blanche, are you jealous of the woman your son has decided to marry? What's going on here? But she quickly felt reassured thanks to the great devoutness of the young married couple and their seriousness in their tasks. And I'm assuming one of the tasks is to produce an heir to the throne. So she's Margaret must be pregnant right now, and maybe that's why the queen has just flipped 360 on Margaret, thinking that she's just too beautiful. I mean, if she's beautiful, it means your grandchildren are also going to be extremely beautiful. They will be known throughout the kingdom and other kingdoms in Europe that, you know, the French have a very beautiful family. Is that so wrong? I don't understand. Impregnated with the ideas of Saint Francis of Assisi. Louis regarded justice as his first duty. Okay. John de Joinville told it occurred many times in summer after Mass that we went to the woods of Google, I need your help. I need your help. Okay. Double N. Yes.
Vincennes.
Huh?
We are looking at how to pronounce this name, as well as how to say more interesting but often confusing French names that many mispronounce, so make sure to stay tuned to the channel. Vincennes is...
Vincennes. Okay. The words of Vincennes and sat, leaned his back against an oak tree and had us sat around him. All right. Anyone who was in trouble came to talk to him without being prevented by speaking by a bailiff or someone else. All right. So you could say he was a man of the people. Instead of being in his throne room with the opulence and the authority and the nobility and the knights that protect him, he's out here in the forest under an oak tree, and anyone can approach him and talk to him and ask for his decision or his guidance or leadership in whatever matters may concern his kingdom. Okay. Wow. Beyond this quite well-known image of Louis IX, the king implemented large reforms which fundamentally modernized French law. Okay. So he's man of the people and a reformer. He defiantly forbade the trials by ordeal. Okay, judicial duels with some challengers. From then on, none shall be deprived from us his rights if he is not convicted of some faults, and if there is no trial, he wrote. Okay. So a duels have been outlawed by him. Judicial duels. All right. So trial by combat. That's what it means. Oh, okay. So trial by combat no longer is applicable as an avenue for law in France. Okay. The Capetian king also established the supplemento, supplemento, okay, the right to appeal against a decision to the royal court, which then became stronger than the court's justice of the nobles. Wow. All right. So he is the appeals court, in terms of, or should I say, the royal court is the appeals court for any matters that the nobles might have, any disputes that the nobles might have. Okay. No class was above the law. We know that Google help me. Oh gosh. Let's see here. In French. Come on, YouTube. Show yourself. Oh no, it's an advert.
Ouch. It's a cavity. But I have a good brushing routine. Switch to Oral-B Electric. Enguerrand.
What?
Enguerrand.
Enguerrand. All right. Oof. I don't think even YouTube knows how to properly pronounce this word. Enguerrand. 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 Okay, Enguerrand. No class was above the law. We know that Enguerrand the fourth of Google, help me. Oh my gosh. There it is. No, not another advert. Please.
Dial and enter to stand a chance of winning 250k with Cadbury. Merci.
What?
Merci.
Coucy. Enguerrand the fourth of Coucy.
Merci.
Okay, thank you. Alright, no class was above the law. We know that Enguerrand the fourth of Coucy, Lord of Montrimrail, was jailed and condemned with a heavy fine. Because he had 3 young boys hanged as they had impromptu hunted on his lands. Just because they hunted on your lands, then you killed them? You should be killed, not given a fine. Oh my gosh. Or life imprisonment. You know, your holdings and your valuables withhold from you and your entire family because of what you've done. And to be paid to the families of those boys that passed away or that were killed by you. Because this is just not right. A heavy fine and then you're free to go. Yeah, the Capetian was very harsh with those who did not respect the principles of the church. Notably forbidding the practice of usury and forcing Jews to convert. To improve the growth of cities and trade, Louis IX issued silver money, the tourner, which was legal tender in all his kingdoms, contrary to lords' monies. Okay. A building king, he ordered the creation of many hospitals, religious edifices, as well as castles in the newly taken provinces to the royal domain. He also contributed to the development of very influent universities of Paris with the construction of the College of Sorbonne. Okay. Guys, I'm so bad at pronouncing these words. I'm so sorry. I feel so embarrassed right now. Because at every second I'm going to need Google to help me. Louis liked controlling himself. The progresses of construction, which were often quick and evidence of the good economic health of the country. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm thinking in, is this a French word or is this an English word? How should I pronounce it? Like, I'm thinking in my mind. That's why I keep repeating the same sentence just to try to make sure that is this English that I'm reading here or is this a French word that I'm mispronouncing in English. Yeah, sorry about this. During his reign, many cathedrals, the French style, later called Gothic style, were also erected and impressed the Western world. Wow. Look at all those arches. So Louis IX was a builder. He was a man of the people. He was a reformer, and he was a pious, devotee of the Catholic Church. Wow. In 1242, Alphonse, court of Poitiers, brother of the king, had to face a rebellion of Poitou barons. Google, please. Google, help me. This is so bad. Okay. Poitou barons, sorry. Poitou barons. Okay, so there's a rebellion of the Poitou barons, and his brother is out to face against this rebellion. English King Henry III, who had stirred up the rebellion, landed with his army in Santiago, willing to take back the English province conquered by Philip II of France. Okay. The negotiations launched by Louis failed. Consequently, the Capetian gathered the royal army and marched to the enemy. Man, the French and the British really have a long history of fighting against each other, you know, back and forth, back and forth. The shock occurred over the bridge of Tailbrog, okay, on the charting or chart the chart the Charty River. Oh my gosh. As a Night King, Louis charged at the head of his heavy cavalry and routed the Anglo-Poitevin army. Okay. The Battle of Tailbrog marked the total victory of France over England in what is sometimes called the First 100 Years' War. The Treaty of Paris in 1259 allowed Louis IX to confirm all his conquests of Philip II, Augustus, Normandy, Touraine, and Anjou, and to add Saint-Tago on the north of the Catherine Google help. Google. Where's Google? Yes, Google, help me. This word is so hard to pronounce. Charente. Okay, Charente River. Oh. The King of England only kept Guyenne and had to swear allegiance to the French king, his feudal suzerain, thus becoming his vassal as Duke of Quantentine. Oh, I can't pronounce that word. Google! Man, this reaction is not going as I planned, you know. It's just not going as I planned. I thought I was gonna get through this like in less than 20, maybe 30 minutes. But no. I'm here. I'm still here trying to figure out how to pronounce these words. Oh gosh.
Aquitaine.
Oh my gosh. But the Treaty of Corbeil Corbel, Louis IX renounced to his claims over Catalonia and was given in exchange Languedoc by James I of Aragon. All right. The French crown then stretched out his influence continuously from the English Channel to the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, yeah, you can see on the map, English Channel up in the north to the Mediterranean Sea down in the south. The Christian world hailed to these fair treaties. Louis IX, then the wise king at the head of the most powerful army of the West, benefited from a huge prestige. An impressive feat, his arbitration was required by foreign powers, notably in the case of inheritance conflicts. The King of France only left his neutrality when the Papal States were threatened of an invasion by the Holy Roman Empire, Frederick II. Wait a minute, isn't the Holy Roman Empire also part of the Papal States? What are the Papal States? I think that's something I'll have to research. Sorry. Then Louis offered his protection to Pope Innocent IV, and the imperial army turned back to avoid a fight against the powerful French army. All right. Since the sack of Constantinople in 1204, the Byzantine Empire suffered from heavy military and financial problems. Desperate to find funding, Baldwin II of Constantinople sold precious Christian reliquaries. Let me guess, some of them went to France. After a long inquiry to check the authenticity, the crown of thorns was acquired by the French king for the huge sum of 135,000 livres tarons. Tarnois. Guys, I'm hopeless. I am hopeless. I'm hopeless. It would be followed by 22 other reliquaries, 22! Including a piece of the true cross, the holy blood, the image of Edessa, and the point of the holy lance. Okay. I'm sure that all of those reliquaries are very important to the Christian or Catholic faith. All right. That means Paris or wherever these reliquaries are being kept is going to be a very important pilgrimage city for devotees of the Catholic faith. Wow. I guess the power of the Catholic Church is going to be under threat. If France has got all of these very important reliquaries and, there's nothing in the home of the Catholic Church, in the Vatican, if they don't really have important reliquaries like France, then what is that city? What is the Vatican then? What is it? Is this the place where the Pope stays, but there's nothing there for people to come and congregate and have a pilgrimage to that place so that they can pray? They'll be going to Paris, or they'll be going to any of the other cities in France. That's what I think. I don't know. These were put in a sumptuous decor. The Saint Chapel of Paris, built specifically for this purpose on the Isle de la Sète, Les Sites. Okay. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. This chapel is extremely beautiful. The painted glass, it makes it look so amazing. The French capital became equal to Rome for its prestige and its holiness. From then on, the Capetian dynasty was seen as the spearhead of the Christian world. Wow. So the second capital of the Christian world is Paris, or France. This glory shone over the entire kingdom of France, the wealthiest and most populated of the European countries. And it still holds that title even today, right, as the most populous country in Europe, if I'm not mistaken. As well as the most developed in the intellectual and artistic dominions, or domains, I should say. The legacy of the Capetian Golden Age was to be very important in the construction of the French national sentiment. In December 1244, Louis fell seriously ill. On the brink of death, he swore to join the crusade if he recovered. He did recover and was true to his word. Indeed, Jerusalem fell into the hands of the Muslims the same year. Then the Seventh Crusade, exclusively French like the First Crusade, entered into preparation. In August 1248, a fleet cast off the harbors of Marseille and Aegis Mortis, on board 3,000 knights and 12,000 infantry. Along with his brothers Alphonse, Count of I forgot how to pronounce that word again. Poitras, okay. Robert the First, Count of Artios, and Charles of Arjun, Louis IX made the bold choice to invade Egypt, heart of the power of Islam. Wow. During 1249, the Crusaders landed before Demeter and swept away the Egyptian defenses. Okay. The French took the port city and set free many Christian prisoners jailed in the gulls of the fortress. Their first success enticed the Capetian to carry on his advance south to Cairo. That is not going to be an easy trek, you know. Unless if he takes the route of the River Nile, he might get there, you know, in one piece. But the deserts and the people who live there, they know the way of the land. They know the terrain. I don't think it's going to be that easy. But anyways. In January 1250, the Crusaders were blocked by the fortress of Al-Mansura, built near the tributary of the Nile, skillfully defended by General Fakir ad-Din. February 8th, the French vanguard, led by fiery Robert, Count of Artios, managed to cross the river on the narrow ford. Okay. Disobeying to the king, Robert and his men rushed to Al-Mansura, whose gates were purposely left open. So he didn't realize it was a trap. Oh well. Then they were trapped in the narrow by streets and slaughtered to the last one by the Mamluk garrison of General Baybars, named the crossbowmen. Or crossbowmen. Alright. Hey. Sorry guys, my pronunciation sucks. A few hours later, the rest of the Crusader army also crossed the river. Sarans, reinforced by the excellent Mamluk mounted archers, then threw a rain of arrows and a flood of Greek fire. Wow, okay. Causing panic in the Christian ranks. So what, Greek fire was like the flamethrower? Huh. Seeing his men at the brink of collapse, Louis gathered his knights and launched a strong charge towards the swirling mass of Mamluks. In hand-to-hand combat, the French, as the Sacranids, the Sacrans called them, gained back their superiority and cut to pieces their enemies. Every time in the thick of combat, ceaselessly haranguing his men, Louis the Ninth was greater on his own than the battle. Joinville wrote. Okay. On the night of this memorable day, the defeated Egyptian army retreated. Yet because of the impudence of Robert, court of Artios, what should have been a triumph for Louis IX was no more than a costly victory. Sorry. In the following days, a typhus epidemic broke out among the victors and prevented them from carrying on the offensive. The Frankish column was no more than the shadow of itself, and the king had to accept a difficult retreat to Demeter. On April 6th, the Crusaders were encircled by barbarous men in the village of Farskur. After a heroic defense, Louis IX was captured by the enemy. What? Wow. For the first time, a king of France was the object of ransom. Threatened to death on many occasions, Louis impressed Muslims and Christians with his stoicism. Okay. The ransom was quickly prepared by the courageous Margaret of Provence, although she was about to give birth, who forced rich Templars to lend money. Once set free, Louis stopped over at the Crusader states, which were quite weakened by never-ending internal conflicts. Crusader states? I'm not sure what that means. Does he mean like the European states that are sending crusaders off to fight in, in Egypt and in Jerusalem? Is that what he means, or I'm not entirely sure. What does Crusader states actually mean? But okay. As soon as he arrived, the King of France was immediately named the chief of the Eastern Christians. Chief of the Eastern Christians, and strongly reorganized the defense of Acre. Okay, Jaffa Kai. Ooh, Google. Oh my gosh. Oh no, Google doesn't want. Oh, okay, yeah, here's Google. Where is it? There. REA. Wow, Google doesn't even have it. Even on YouTube. Oh gosh. Or maybe I should say, is it French? I'm not sure if that's French. Or is it another language? But which one? Okay. Alright, fine. Sidon. Acre, Jaffa, Sidon. Alright. From then on, well aware of the political subtleties of the Levant, he managed to revive the internal tensions of the Muslim world between the House of Damascus and the House of Cairo. So somehow he was able to make the Muslim world, if I can say that, in terms of the House of Damascus and the House of Cairo, to fight amongst each other. And once they've become weakened, he would come there with the Crusader force to destroy them, what's ever left. Worried his former jailers. Guys, who uses J-A-O, or should I say G-A-O-L-E-R-S as jailer? Who uses that? Because here I'm thinking it's a French word. And I'm thinking that, okay, maybe I'm supposed to pronounce it in a certain way because it's a French word, but actually that's jailers. Anyways, then covered him with splendid presents and liberated all his companions taken as farisco. Okay. Louis also managed to keep at bay the dreaded sect of assassins whose great master, the old man of the mountain, was fascinated with the charisma and the unwavering faith of the Capetian, sorry. The first Western king with a global diplomatic vision, the King of France sent an embassy to Mongol Khans, enemies of Islam and tolerant with Christians. However, he could not take personally advantage of these first promising contacts. The death of his mother forced him to come back to France in 1254. The obscure but huge work realized by the Capetian during his presence in the Crusader states allowed their last true recovery. Bayabaras, who became the Sultan of Egypt, launched a great offensive against these Frankish overseas territories, in which had fallen back into the anarchy since Louis' departure. Against the advice of his counselors, the King of France, despite his declining health, decided to take the cross again. Thanks to the fleet of Charles of Anjou, who became Charles I of Naples. In the meantime, Louis and his army landed in Tunisia. Okay. On July 24, 1270, Carthage was taken by the Crusaders. Then they besieged Tunis, which was defended by Muhammad I al-Mastasir. Okay. Yet operations were made very difficult because of the scorching heat, attacks, and defenders were dying of dysentery. What's that? Is it some sort of intestinal illness or something? Okay. Yeah, dysentery must be some sort of, I don't know, stomach illness of some sort. Yeah, I don't know. John Tristan, son of the king, died on August the 4th. Louis fell sick from dysentery too and died on August the 25th. All right. Wow. So both son and father died. Who's going to succeed the throne now? Was John the eldest son of the king, or does he have other sons as well? I'm wondering. In his last breath, he pronounced the name Jerusalem. His young son Philip succeeded him, yet it was the experienced Charles of Anjou who negotiated the end of the siege against a huge indemnity and ended the crusade shortly after. The remains of Louis IX were placed in a basilica of Saint Denis after a long journey through Sicily, Italy, and France. Already considered a saint in his lifetime, the Capuchin from then on was an object of true veneration. His reliquaries were progressively taken out of his tomb and scattered in the entire Christian world. Many French prelates asked for his canonization as soon as 1272, many times interrupted. The inquiry of the Holy See lasted over 25 years. Wow, that's a long time. For obvious political reasons, King Philippe IV, the Fair, great son of Louis IX, put pressure on the papacy to speed up the procedure. August 11, 1297, giving to the crown of France an unmatched prestige and a holy aura, Pope Boniface VII announced the canonization of Louis IX under the name of Saint Louis of France. Okay, all right, guys, that's it with Louis the Ninth, the Crusader King, made on the Cajun YouTube channel, the Cajun Cutthroat YouTube channel, yes, and requested by Clovis, or otherwise known as First Dublé 6911. Yes, hope I'm pronouncing your YouTube name also correctly there. But guys, no. This is not about the video, this is about me. I don't like how I reacted to this video. I don't like how I reacted to it because I could not pronounce these words. It just killed my mood. You know, it just killed my mood. It felt like I was just reading and trying to understand how to pronounce these words, and it kind of overtook my interest in understanding the story behind Louis the Ninth. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm really sorry about that. I'm sorry also to Clovis. You know, I didn't really react to this. I was just mainly reading to understand and reading and trying to pronounce words that I just could not. They were tongue twisters to me, you know. Yes, thankfully Google was here to help me, but I still did not feel satisfied. I didn't feel confident enough to say that, okay, I understand what's going on. I see who this is. I understand what's his position and what he's all about. I just could not get to that point because I'm trying to focus on how to pronounce these words. So it's not your fault. It's not your fault, Cajun. It's not your fault. It's just me. The video is good. The video, discussing and focusing on Louis the Ninth. It's just that I am not really equipped to read French words or to pronounce French words. And sometimes I mix it up with English words and thinking that, okay, this English word is actually in French, when actually it is just an English word, and I just confuse myself. So I'm sorry about this, guys. This reaction was not really that good. I think so. I think it was really not that good. But forgive me for that. Yeah, Louis the Ninth. Louis the Ninth. He should have stayed. He should have stayed in France and just continued to grow his kingdom instead of heading over to fight against Muslims. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you that bored at home? To stay at home, manage your kingdom, make sure that your successors will have a peaceful and powerful kingdom to inherit. Instead, you're going out there to fight against Muslims, fight against Islam. For what? You have all the reliquaries of your faith based in your cities. You have all the holiness, the aura holiness from Rome, being bestowed upon France and the city of Paris. So what more do you want? Why do you want Jerusalem? For what? Maybe this is a religious matter that those who are, Catholic and those who are part of the Islamic faith, they can further explain to me what is this importance over this city. Why would so many kings and their armies be sent over to fight for this territory when you have the reliquaries of your faith, when you have the reliquaries of your God and his favorite son Jesus? You have everything that you'd need. What do you need Jerusalem for? Does it have some sort of economic or political importance? Yes, maybe a religious one, but honestly, to be sending so many of your forces and resources to fight wars in Egypt, they didn't even go to Jerusalem. They were fighting in Egypt. And they were fighting in Egypt and Tunis and Carthage, So I honestly, I don't understand the Crusades in their totality. Like, what is the benefit of doing something like that? But it's in the past. It's in the past. But yes, while the king was in France, he was a very good king. From his leadership came the golden age of France. In terms of law, in terms of economic development, in terms of universities and artistry and infrastructure, especially when it came to churches, and all the reliquaries that were collected by the king, shown in some chapels that were also built specifically for these reliquaries. And France became the Mecca capital of the Catholic faith, and with the highest population out of Europe. Really, it was like the heartbeat of Europe for a very long time. And I think it still kind of is, even in today's world. I think France is still the heartbeat of Europe, and the king did some amazing things in France. He had a great teacher, a great mother, who made sure that her son had the best education, was a very loyal and pious man of God, and he also married a very loyal, beautiful wife, who both of them had many children. And thankfully, after he had passed away and after his son had passed away, there were still other children that could succeed to the throne, and that's what happened. And it's what any queen mother would want, to see her son and her son's wife having children, and those children would become the successors to the throne. So I'm sure Blanche was very happy while she was still alive. And also Louis the Ninth had communications with the Mongol, what was it, the Mongol Empire? I forgot. But yes, he had communications with empires in the Far East that were also against Islam. So you could say the enemy of my enemy is my friend in this type of situation. He had potential for an international communication and diplomacy, but that was all cut short because he had to go back home to his mother's funeral. And what could have been has been a missed opportunity. However, still, I say that this crusade was his downfall. He should have not went on these crusades. He should have just stayed in France, making sure that the country just continues to grow stronger, bigger, and will have far more influence in Europe. And the dominance of France would be solidified for many years to come. This was very interesting to hear about Louis the Ninth, and hopefully you guys enjoyed my mess. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my reaction mess. I'm sorry about this. But yes, thank you again to Clovis, first Doodler 96911 for the requests, and also to the Cajun Cutthroat YouTube channel for creating these videos. But also, just as a point of advice, if it's possible, one of these days with your videos, also add in voiceovers, because people like me exist. Those who cannot pronounce French words, those who cannot tell the difference whether it's an English word or it's a French word. People like me exist. So we're going to need help with a voiceover, someone explaining to us with voice that this is what's happening, this is how it has changed, and this is the effect, and all of these types of things that happen within the video. We're going to need someone to talk to us, because reading, yes, it is good, but sometimes reading is still not enough, because there are some words that just get lost in translation. But this was good. This was really, really good. Thank you again. And remember, guys, if you want to check out the original video as well as the Cajun Cutthroat YouTube channel, the links are going to be in the description below. If you like my reaction, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell if you want to be up to date with my latest videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay?